Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rana Ravi from MSME and Startup Committee ICAI. I would like to welcome our sir Rajendra Jha sir for today's speaker and our coordinator CA Himanshu Ravlani sir. Sorry, I'm Himanshu Ravlani sir for coordinate the session. Sir, please hand over to you. Sir.
Hello. Yes, good afternoon to everyone. I am CA Himanshu Ravlani, and it is my honor to serve as a coordinator for today's session of MSME Pathshala Series 2.0, an initiative of the Committee on MSME and Startups. So, at the outset, I would also like to thank committee for entrusting me with this responsibility of coordinating the session. It's truly privileged to be part of this meaningful session. The MSME Pathshala series reflects ICI's strong commitment to supporting the growth and sustainability of the MSME sector through its continuous knowledge sharing and professional development. So, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our speaker of the day, Mr. Rajendra Jha. So, Mr. Jha is a highly qualified, accomplished, multidisciplinary professional with over 25 years of experience spanning both academia and industry. He is an established consultant, trainer, author, and keynote speaker, having conducted more than 10,000 workshops and interacted with over 5 lakh participants. With expertise across legal, financial, and social sectors, Mr. Jha has been instrumental in designing over 500 training modules and supporting institutional developments for government, corporate, and social sector. He holds multiple qualifications and is currently pursuing a PhD in dispute resolution from NUSRL in Ranchi. Sorry. His leadership roles include serving as director and CEO at Vedanta Consulting, chief manager at Kotak Mahindra Bank, and CFO at Vive Communications. He also actively contributes as mentor and resource person with institutes like ICAI, DOPT, SEBI, NABARD, and others. We are truly fortunate to have him address us today on the Jharkhand MSME policy, a topic of vital importance for the regional and national MSME landscape. So, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Himanshuji, for a elaborative profile and discussion. So, welcome all participants to this particular web series, 57th. Our today's topic would be Jharkhand State MSME policy, right now. So, we'll be going through one by one some of the points very important, and then you might be having many questions in between. We'll collect into that. Himanshuji will help us, and then at the end of the program, we will try to answer all those questions, right? So let me go through one by one. Introduce about Jharkhand, first about Jharkhand, state. These 5 things we'll talk about. Today's agenda will be next 1.5 hour, 2 hours. We'll talk about state, how this state is working in industrial matter, and then what is the policy per se about MSME, the latest policy which is published into 2023. And then what are the opportunities available for MSMEs and professionals like other who can contribute to the development of MSMEs in Jharkhand especially. And we'll go through also some of the examples, case studies, successful in Jharkhand, and how to connect these things, especially based on the support from policies, how to connect to the futures. This is all we'll go through the entire 1.5 hour journey. Right, Mansuji? So the first we need to think about Jharkhand state. Anybody, whenever anybody talks about Jharkhand, everybody talks about it's a mineral state, rich state. Mines and minerals a lot there. So yes, so we are actually rich into mine and minerals. It's called a potential industrial state. Though we have got very good, very large base of mining and minerals and a lot of natural things inside this state, but still we are into not a developed industrial state. So let me go through these 3 points. The first, Jharkhand is the only state where this coking coal, normally we call it coal, and then uranium and pyrite is produced, extracted from the earth of Jharkhand. The only state, no other states in India, and the number one leading producers of coal, mica, we must have heard, kyanite, copper, all those important materials is getting extracted from Jharkhand in leading 26-25% almost percentage. And and that is the reason since long, when it was a part of even Bihar, combined Bihar state, it was actually a boost to the significant portion of India's mineral and coal reserves, being one of the richest mineral zones in the world. And I must share with you, if we talk about the coal capital of India or coal is in Jharkhand. The second best coal institute for engineers and management is there in Dhanbad in Jharkhand. So yes, we are rich into this Jharkhand state, rich into mining and minerals. So we call it potential state. Now, industrially, if we introduce, it is divided into two parts. Actually, it is the boundary of this state is aligned with the West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Odisha also. And so it is in between these states, eastern part of the country. And if you talk about GSDP, gross domestic product, state product, almost 56.78 billion in last year, this March 2025. So it's good amount if you look at the last 10 years trend or 20 years trend. Because again, we talk about again rich in minerals because it is getting utilized globally, and 40% of the total reserves is into this Jharkhand. Coal reserves almost 30%, 27% into in Jharkhand only. Now, if you talk about minerals, coal, iron combinedly, 27% world over. Copper, one of the most important, and in future, this copper would be metal like a gold. Trading in copper would be of great value. So 19% or almost. Uranium, precious metal, granite, limestone, silver, graphite, and dolomite. So precious metals and minerals mining we is here in Jharkhand. The same thing again, I'm repeating it. Number one in coal, uranium, and pyrite, and other ore iron ore reserves. It is second in India. So you would find many big companies, Tata, Zindal, or having factories there in Jharkhand, who is doing extraction work of these minerals and then supplying to the world using in India also. It is contributing, if you talk about mining and minerals extraction, tea industry, mining production only 138 million tons in last one year back figure. I have authentic figure or published figure. So 138 million tons, which is among the best and the world greatest. If you talk about the various ports in eastern part of, then Paradip, Kolkata, these ports are adding to the transportation part, because if you send these minerals to the world, then you need a broad big port with you. So this things is also available. FDI inflows in India is 2.66 billions between till June 24. March, I just got few figures back. 50 in March 2023, this government, the Jharkhand government, had some memorandum, industrial memorandum in bigger part of the states where industries can be propelled. Almost 51.6 million, almost 400 plus crores. Total exports is growing up, almost 1900 million. And so how this is happening? The state actually offers, since it became independent, I mean, it became separated from in Bihar in 2000. Since then, it had evolved with different policies into industries for industries. So it has been giving incentives through industrial policies. And last very important industrial policy was 2012, where IT small specific zone economic zone and special economic zone, and then many supports for power sector, energy sector where we were available. 80% of the job. The last point, very important. Still, if we have almost one third of the minerals and minings of the world, but still the population, the rural population, depends on agriculture, and rice is the dominant crop, which is again depend on the on rain. And if you talk about the cropping area, which is actually cropped area is not much in Jharkhand because it is dominated by mines and minerals mining. 80% is only from the rice. So still, if you talk about agriculture, we are not into much into non-agriculture cash crop, you can say. So there is a need of utilizing of these resources within the state to in establishing a good industry, and also while extracting and exporting to the world, and again for the development of the Jharkhand. So there is a great opportunity. Some snapshot, if you look at CAGR, it is growing with a good percentage, almost 10% since last 10 years down the line. If you look at almost 5 6 years data I have here. Again, if you divide into different sectors, primary, secondary, and tertiary, if you look at the here, tertiary has got more dominance. Primary still we are lesser, and little secondary processing industry and others are growing up, but we are more dependent on still today on tertiary sector, service sector, or support sector, which is not much contributing to the development of the whole states. But yes, export is growing. Merchandise export is growing. We have discussed in past also, and all these things are happening due to the reason of different policies. And what the government is doing now, they are also trying to get feedback from the academicians, from industrialists, from users, and then every 2 years 3 years down the line, trying to modify or trying to incentivize those sectors where actually supports is not there. But yes, if you look at the political situation in Jharkhand in the last 25 years, so many governments could not survive for long. So that is one of the reason where these policies could not be implemented fully. But yes, since last few years, almost 10 years down the line, to 10 years, we have a stable government, and the government is working on these policies to evolve and to support the now advantages. If you look at in bold points, it is there extensive mineral reserves. Again, the same thing repeating. But the second point is very important: policy and fiscal incentives. Right. Uh, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, in past governments also, or in recent also, they are also incentivizing these IT and SEZs, offering sector specific incentives, and they have done it up to large extent. You can say almost, if you talk here, uh, you know. There are major areas in Bihar, in Jharkhand, Sindri, Dhanbad. These are the areas where more boost up is given, incentives are given. Now, if you look at the investment potential, lot of opportunities. Certainly, lot of opportunities. Again, in mining, in metals, power, infrastructure, manufacturing, food processing, and all these things are estimated to almost 4 lakh crore rupees, almost 51 billion US dollar in 2023-24. So it is growing like anything. I have already I've decided, shown in the last few slides about GSDP. Now, most important part is location advantage. We are close to Kolkata, Haldia already discussed, Paradip, the most important port near to this state, and that is the reason it is close to the vast market of the eastern part of India. And one thing I want to share here only, if you look at power sector, in especially in energy, solar energy and others, almost 300 days in a year out of 365, we get sun. Even if many times rain is in rainy season also, our sun is I mean, sun is there. So there is a great opportunity for solar sector also here in state, and that is the reason government is trying to um, trying to go for energy sector. Now, we'll go for key government policies and objectives before we go for MSME policies. These are the few policies latest is available apart from MSME policy. Solar rooftop, again tourism, industrial investment promotion policies. These all policies actually support to the MSME. If you want to have a solar industry into Jharkhand, then you need to have this solar state solar policy 22. What are the incentives given for solar energy adoption? And then what are the, if you want to go into rooftop, you want to put some rooftop project. So there are different policies already available into for the promotion of the solar energy sector. And this way, tourism is also one of the very important sector evolving up in Jharkhand. Opportunities are there, potential is there, but still we have Jharkhand is not has not done so far a good job. But still, tourist destinations is there. Many times, local people says, "Why go for Simla?" There is opportunity here also. Small mountains and others, and tourism facilities are growing up nowadays. And that many times if you go inside this department, I mean interact with the government people, they uh, they go for PPP mode also many times, especially in tourism. If I look at the last few years, they have partnered with many local partners to especially to run, not built, only to run the tourism locations, places, which assets which is already built up by the government, so that the tourist comes and local tourism industry grow up. But still, it is in evolving phase. Nowadays, a very important things are growing up, that is processing industry. If you look at the policy, it is little old, but there is some cluster. I will talk later. There is some cluster in Jharkhand, especially Devghar, Santal Pargana region, or there is a Shiv temple also famous. Shiv temple. So Devghar is one of the kind location where processing industry is growing up, and we are trying to uh, grow it as a cluster, processing cluster, you can say. And yes, there are many companies having footprints in Jharkhand since long, like Tata and others. And so CSR policy is also very good, effectively working. There are many big NGOs, big corporates working into the field, uh, like Pradhan and others, so many, uh, who is actually creating a conducive environment for to attract CSR investments. I mean, corporates can pour into the CSR investment, and within state challenges is there still, but these NGOs with the help of the government guidance and others, they are growing up, they are doing well. Now, if you look at vision, in last 3 to 4 years, what have been doing in what government is doing basically, one is power. This figure is at the lower side, but yes, power sector is one of the very important sector where government is pushing it through especially non-conventional. I have already talked about this solar energy especially, and they are also they are targeting not only big solar industry, but again small to bigger, with the help of some government financial institutions like industrial development fund like NABARD, uh, uh, supported, or any other related funds. And some places they make tri-party agreement for to evolve these type of solar projects. I mean, government is giving land, somebody is financing, and somebody is operating and selling it through the grid. That way, tri-party agreement also they are doing it. Yes, agriculture is one of the dominant area in Jharkhand. So we need to focus on agriculture. Agriculture productivity, 2,000 kilograms per hectare they have targeted. They have been doing it on this. You must be knowing that the land is not very fertile in Jharkhand, since it's a mineral dominated land. But still, there are limited scope of quantity of quality land is available, availability of the quality land. So, but still, agriculture productivity is to be increased. Then healthcare, one of the very important across any state. If you look at, so targeted campaigns for pandemic is okay. Any epidemics or things are there, and government is also supporting. We must be aware right now. Almost 5 lakhs plus 5 lakhs scheme is going on, and we have very good infrastructure of ANMs and others till the ground, till the panchayat level, and they are actually showing their evidence. I mean, they are working with the gram panchayat till the gram panchayat to support these rural people. But yes, in healthcare, a lot of things are to be done at district level. Infrastructure is not much. Uh, Now the industry interface, the last very important thing. Uh, Almost 15 years back, 14, 15 years back, we had started. Nowadays, it is fully functional since last few years. Single window clearance, where any industrialist or any MSME or any people just need to log in into or register into one advantage Jharkhand.gov.in, and then that platform actually will help them to clear all legal issues one by one, even from procurement of land till the commencement of the factory or business. So everything is at one place. It is very good system, clearance system, and transparent. It is transparent, you can say. So they are supporting it. Government is supporting it. So this way, if we go through what I was trying to discuss on that what government is doing, and where the state is today, and what are the potentials available, potentials we have in Jharkhand. That I talked, and what the vision go ahead in future in from the government of Jharkhand. So this is the first part. Now, shall we move to second part? All okay? So now the core part of this particular presentation would be MSME policy, state MSME policy. Now, looking at the background, what we talked in the last few slides, uh, how this MSME policy helps. So there have been few policies year by year, some other years also, but latest it is in 2023, revised based on some central schemes also, based on their experiences also, old governments. They have come up with a very good MSME policy. Uh, mm, uh, Not exhaustive, you can say, but yes, clarity on many things. Now I'll go through one by one. So next few minutes we'll talk on MSME policy in detail. Now the backbone, the MSME sector by say per se, how it is important to the government, because pan India or wherever we go, unless and until MSME grows, country does not grow, a state does not grow. So we need to put focus on MSME, and especially in first two letter, micro and small. Once it is started flying, it will fly to medium and then large. So um, how these MSME is important. Let me go back to again the basic thing. This is the backbone Indian economy. Everywhere, wherever we go, and that is the reason this ICI also started long back. This committee of MSME talking about MSME in startup, because unless and until people are becoming a job creator, making uh, some good startups, success or failure doesn't matter. But yes, if we are not into the mode of establishing a unit, then or creating a job, then we are not actually creating GDP for the country. And look at this figure. Backbone of Indian economy, 26 plus 27% of entire GDP of India depends on MSME only. And if you look at last 20 25 years figure, it is growing like anything. And the most fabulous part of this MSME sector is almost 50% of our exports in overall economy, if we can say. In Jharkhand, if you per se in Jharkhand, if you talk about almost 3 lakhs uh, person or 3 lakhs in unit is registered into Udyam portal. Nowadays, we must be aware about Udyog Aadhaar and Udyam portal is must, and that is the indicator for how many MSME and how it is performing everything. That is very important and need that like person individually I get an Aadhaar, so a unit also gets a Aadhaar. That Udyam portal is for that. So almost 3 lakh, 2.77 lakh specifically figure registered in Jharkhand, last March figure. The major role, how it is evolving, how it is helping to the GDP. Employment generation, I'm talking long, employment generation, rural industrialization. There are many small industries. If you look at uh, tier 2, tier 3 cities, you will find those micro level enterprises working into rural areas or semi-urban areas, not into pure big cities or tier 2 or tier 3 cities. So that so that the labor also the labor this creator does not migrate to the bigger cities. Like if a person from a rural areas wants to start a small unit, they need not to go to bigger cities or state capital, to industrial town only in a state to start with that particular work. Since logistics are already in place, many place logistics facilities there, government is also supporting, roads are built up. So why not with a cheap labor, or why not create that particular unit in rural areas? So rural level industrialization is happening, especially if I look at this state Jharkhand, because again the rural availability of cheap labor employment, and that way employment is also getting generated, and even if they earn lesser, they survive there. So that is happening now. What was there in past, there what was there in past industry, specifically everybody was thinking about mining minerals, extracting those materials and then doing it. Now it is actually moving to the processing, moving to the manufacturing, and moving to some of those sectors which were there, which are there since long in Jharkhand, like handloom, like lac sector, bangles, jewelry sector. There are so many sectors, handloom, but they were not very supported by the governments or other way. So now it is we are moving from the core minerals or mining based sector to these sectors, trying to create some processing industry, trying to enter into the tertiary sector also to support these secondary and primary units. Handloom. There are. I'll go through in some of the slides. There are some good handloom areas in growing up in Jharkhand. Tussar, silk, or other things also. So we are actually they are shifting into some of the important objectives this policy has very clear, and this is almost text to text. I'm trying to explain the first one. I'll go through one text to text. Actually this first they are trying to grow, they are trying to help in growing to new as well as existing MSME. Yes, we need to support new, we need to invite new MSMEs, but for sure if you are not able to get if you're not able to support the already existing or dying industry, dying units, then it's of no use actually, because they have been allotted units, they have been allotted land, they have already invested a lot of resources there, this private industrialist. So policy is to support existing as well as for the new. Very important. Even somebody is dying, somebody is in liquidation state or something, we need to support them in some other way. Three words very important: expansion, yes, by creating new zones, new park like plastic park, processing unit park, with the help of some institutions or government. Diversification is very important. We talked about from mining to again manufacturing that way, and modernization, technology upgradation is very important. If you see in Jharkhand, there are places where this cluster is getting created. Software technology park is also evolving with the help of government, central government. These industrial development authorities are trying to invite these park TI and giving them land, giving them building so that they can create their small innovation centers. I mean incubation centers or innovation centers. Now this is for employment generations. Yes, for youth and entrepreneurs, supporting local entrepreneurs who do not want to migrate, want to work there only, want to become an entrepreneur there and there only, and do not want to have a job. There are many people trying to become job creator, but they need support. The young people is specifically, they understand that there is a demand for this, and there is a scarcity in job and naukri. So, and digitization has become a successful tools into this. I've been watching since last almost 12, 13 years in Jharkhand that digitization at the ground level, even at the panchayat level, if you go to a panchayat, every panchayat has got its own computer center lab where these people, rural managers, you say like Rojgar manager, we call it, then Gram Pradhan and others, also conversant with the computer and entering this Manrega and other data into computer every day. So we are trying to get support from central government and then put all those digitalization also. We are trying to digitalize the entire documentations, and we have done it in Jharkhand so that these new upcoming entrepreneurs or MSME people get all documentations done at one place and in transparent manner and without any malpractices. Those things actually need to be done. So we have been successful into this. For an example, if I say, if I want to apply for a land here today, it has come into website, I will apply here and immediate only. And if I don't need to go physically and then apply for interview, coming for the interview board, and everything is done online. And once it is done, then obviously for physical verification, I need to go there and see. But again, permission of freehold land till the commencement of the business, as I talked, everything is done at one single window system. So that is done due to this digitization, other supports only. Government obviously supports innovation. Yes, there are some innovation centers with the help of many academic institutions like IIM is there, NITs are there. With the help of these people, and at small level also, this there is a concept Niti Aayog, Atal Incubation Center. So those things are in place at the school level. You can say there are good schools where these things are in place. Young people, growing people are aware since beginning that yes, innovation is the key word today, and that is for long. That is since long. We have been this Jharkhand has been very privileged to have a good academic institutions like ISM Dhanbad, IITs. Into like Jamshedpur, we must be knowing good place, management institutions. IIM is there. So with the help of those things, we are trying to adopt these new technologies and innovate them. These are the few things, the main objective of this, and focus on inclusivity, women, SC, it is ST dominated state, but yes, inclusivity is very important here, and there are some benefits of them, specific benefits for them to support from the marketing point of view. If you look at the Jharkhand since in last few years, very few, but it has started well. District level e-mart is happening now. If anybody is producing some product into district level, then even apart from one district, one product, whatever you are trying to produce. If you are trying to produce, then there is a online system at district level under the chairmanship of district commissioner, where you can put your put your product online and sell at the very good rate. You must have heard about Devghar again. It's a Santal Pargana, it's a tourist place. Geotagging is already happening in many places, including this Devgar Peda is famous, very famous. We have done geotagging for that, and again pushing for handloom others, Tasar and others also. Marketing support is also we are this policy is trying to the focus of this policy is trying to. Then financial technological support, incentives in interest and or any other manner. We'll talk into that. Focus area is sericulture, handloom, khadi product is very important. We have been privileged to have good footprints of KVIC, KVIB, Khadi Village Industries Corporation, Khadi Village Industries Board. Very actively they are participating into, and also MSME Development Institute is there, NSIC is there, NISBUD is there. So these institutions has got good footprint in district levels to training them in sharing about the different products, especially this handloom khadi we talk. And yes, conclusive ecosystem for MSME's prosperity. The overall purpose of this policy is now one by one we will go. The first one is policy strategies. There are only five. This policy is divided into these five overall policies. One is fiscal incentive, very important from the financial point of view. We'll talk in detail. And then institutional support is, if it is not there, then these policies actually does not reflect, does not get to the down level people. So there is a dedicated MSME directorate, and it is anyway it is available in other states too. But here, what I can see, district MSME center is very active. The moment you apply for a new land or for a new memorandum, for a new business, for a new udyam, people talk to you, people connect with you. Or if you want to apply for even small udyog adhar, you can speak to them, meet them, speak them about documentation, about the processes. They come to you also many times. They talk to you over wave, over internet, over phone. And as I talked about single window system for the ease of doing business, EODB is very prominent word. Everywhere it is there. So no, not too much talked about. Now, technical upgradation. Yes, regular training workshop is happening again with the help of academic institutions and MSME supported developmental academic institutions like I talked about NISBUD. There are some other institutions like NSIC, MSME, and institutions like ICI and other platforms also doing some great events on MSME in startup with the help of their local regional centers, local regional chapters. They're doing well. And many times we take support of this forum, industries forum, also local forum, uh, chamber, we call it, industrial chambers. And one thing I can share with you that in Jharkhand, I'm not telling it is not every places it is available, but yes, here I'm witness to that these presidents of the chambers, various commerce chambers, are active. Maybe sometimes they're politically active to get their work done, but yes, the purpose of being actively involved into this is business done. Take an example like one land clearance is not happening due to many reasons. They come in between immediately, speaking to the representative, speaking to the ministries or secretaries, so that that particular entrepreneur or industrialist does not, suffer. So that way. Now, this cluster development very important. It is happening since last few some years. Industrial parks is getting created. Um, like plastic park in Devgar or some other parks also it is happening. Processing unit park is getting developed. I'll go talk in next slides. Rural industrialization, we talk one district, one product. In with the help of railway and others also, if you see every at least B grade, A to B grade stations, we are having a small stall, one district, one product wala stall. So that will focus on local product only, basically, and focusing on this sericulture again, food processing. So these are the main five areas where trying to the way policy we are trying to this government is trying to, I mean, Jharkhand is trying to evolve. Now, one by one, if you look at enabling framework, how it gets affected, and these are uh, getting mentioned into policy. I'm just rephrasing it and then talking, with you. 3 points here. Cluster-based development. There are 3 points only. This collective support of MSME for infrastructure, for raw material, for technology, for finance, for marketing. So beginning from creating an infrastructure till the market, it goes to the market. They are trying to create a cluster and then supporting to them. Support for the entire cluster for MSME. The second is shared efficiency and competitiveness, where they are competitive to each other or trying to promote that so that competition would be little better, and also they are trying to utilize their shared effectiveness, their shared uh, you know uh, competencies. And yes, one district, one product is trying to um, uh, and it is not like the one district, one product only will be happening, but focus is only one product. Because every district, if you look at, one or two things are very in limelight, that this product is more, for this product, this district is uh, good for that, from manufacturing till marketing till producing the particular product. So that is that government of India also focuses on one D, one B. Now, what are the institutions getting created through this policy? As I talked about, directorate is there, MSME directorate is there, who actually schemes where schemes are getting implemented, and inception is from inception till implementation is happening. And then the district MSME managers, they are into place, and what they do, they actually coordinate between government schemes, government department schemes with the entrepreneurs, so that entrepreneurs or these uh, these MSMEs start their work. And if any, in case of any disputes for any reason between government and MSME, or this between two MSMEs or more, then they devise some things to sort out the disputes. And also they support into export promotion or local promotion. They support, like if there is any marketing support scheme is there, participation like India International Trade Fair or some other trade fair, local or abroad. So they support into that. They invite, they speak, they meet, they make some awareness program. The most important part here is district MSME center. This is very close to me. I've seen young people managing this actually. Many people might not be on role of the government, but yes, they are very enthusiastic in resolving the dispute of new startup, new MSMEs, from single point support to any other things, any connecting with any other schemes or any departments. Udyam registration, if you want to apply into single window, technical support is there, registration is not happening, you want to change, modify into your Udyog Aadhaar so that new industry is new products comes into registration into legal like GST and others. They actually support on continual basis to all these MSMEs. Uh, yes, sometime MSMEs, new MSMEs need to follow up with them. due to less manpower, availability of less manpower. But yes, they, if you once we approach them, they certainly put their time. I've seen these people to focus into. Now, what are the technical support and skill development? Digitization is very important. And two words I call it, one is digitization and digitalization. All those old things are digitalized, so that government also at ease that where our lands are, where we can procure land from, purchase land from landowners, to create an industrial development authority, industrial development area, and where we can create a SEZ or whatever. So that way acquisition of land is happening at ease. Because if you look at the political and geographical environment in Jharkhand, land is not easy to buy actually. And ordinary people cannot buy a land there at ease, because most of the land are in Tenancy Act. There are acts, CNT Act and SP Act. So we cannot buy. What the way we can do? There are very few, 2-3%, 5% land is available to buy, which is very costly. So then government supports actually. Government can buy, government can procure, and then create a authority, create a industrial area. Like you must have heard about this AIMS Devagar, and AIMS started this airport, and deciding that besides those area, uh, industrial park started. We call it one of the industrial development area, Devipur development area, where huge number of acres of land is purchased and bought by the government to support this MSME, and trying to create a good atmosphere, creating infrastructure, road and uh, electricity and others. So procurement of land is very tough, and there they are trying to support here. But a lot of things to be done. Once land is ready, practically all other infrastructure also should be in place. Then only an MSME actually is interested to buy that land. Otherwise, if electricity is not there, it is not useful. So government also needs to be done a lot here. Now, in this policy, the government is trying to have vocational trainings. Yes, it is happening. We have been we have been doing this since long. Like Jharkhand MSME mini tool room is there, a concept, old concept, where all these big machines and small machines based on which any industry works, uh, actually training on that. We must have heard that in Jharkhand, we have got one of the oldest company, HEC, Heavy Engineering Corporation. What they do, they create machines. So we have got number of MSME tool room where these people, the trainees, are getting trained on those machines, working to machines. So this is available in state capital Ranchi, Dhanbad, industrial areas like Jamshedpur, Bokaro. These few places we have got very good tool rooms. Then again, vocational training is happening in a part of the skill development courses uh, at subsidized rate, and also skill development agencies is there. Government skill development uh, system is there, like Jharkhand Skill Development Society, where all these courses are at par with NSDC and in line with the NSDC basically. So what they do, they support agencies with the finance, and then agencies create their own infrastructure and provide vocational training. Also, DDU-GKY and some other courses is happening in rural areas also, and semi-urban areas. DDU-GKY, NSDC programs. This is happening. And yes, I already talked about innovation centers, incubation centers, with the help of other agencies, other funding agencies from Government of India. So that way, local support is also happening, and collaboration with ITIs, this industrial technical institute, and then polytechnics, because in few down the line, if you last few years, if you see, polytechnics has got less, presence. There are no reasons to survive. I mean, who will go to polytechnic only if you want to go for a government job? But now, what this government is doing, this since last many years, they've been doing it. That collaboration between polytechnic with some bigger institutions and then in industries also, so that these people get trained well, infrastructure is there for training, and then a good quality manpower can be supplied to the industry. So we are trying to, this apprenticeship is getting started, especially in Tata and other company, some public sector companies, small and little bigger also. Now for EODB, what we are doing in policy, single window clearance, online payments, self certifications, everything is time bound. And this is what I have seen personally, because I support also many small MSMEs to get things done. So I guide them. Why don't you create your ID and then do it? If you need any help, we can help you. So that way, they themselves also trying to, and it is smooth. It is supported by technical support, and digitalization is there. Digitally, they are okay. I mean, website is working fully. So that way. Now, exemption from state approvals also is on the card. That for small regions, for some of the specific regions, state can exempt the MSMEs, or limit the inspection of the MSMEs. Compliance nature and others. So, what is the eligibility if you talk about new and existing units? As per the definition of Government of India MSME 2006, new definitions, investment and turnover based. So all MSME are eligible for this. Now, what are the key incentives? This is one of the important part. Thus, CPIS. What is CPIS? If you look at this slide, micro is 40% of CI, fixed capital infrastructure, complete, and then up to 15 crore for small, 35% FCI, medium is 30% FCI, and this is defined very well in policy. Then additional 5% for inclusivity, like differently abled, woman, and this is disbursed in two parts. 50% in first year, the moment you start your uh, business, commence your business, and then 50% in third year. So that MSME does not go away also. I mean, they need to sustain, they need to survive in the system. Otherwise, 50% lapse. What is interest subsidy? Very important. 5% per annum for 5 years. It is happening other places also. The same year in Jharkhand, up to 25 lakhs in micro, and then 1 crore into medium, and 2 crores, sorry, 1 crore in small, and 2 crore into for the medium. And stamp duty registration is 100% reimbursement is also happening. If you are buying it directly from the Rayat, I mean, if you are buying it first, I mean, as a first buyer directly, clean land, it should be clean land, registry is happening, then there is no stamp duty applicable for that. And CGT MSME, we all know, as this Government of India scheme everywhere, we adapt and we implement this where credit guarantee fee reimbursement is there. Now, the quality certification, JED certification. Quality, every type of ISO certification you can have, BIS certification you can have, and up to 25 lakh rupees, 100% reimbursement is happening. And multiple certification you can have. Earlier was there that limited number of certifications you can have. No, the total amount is fixed, but you can have multiple certifications. So that many times if you want to diversify from one business to another, you need a separate certification ISO. You can have that. And yes, this JED scheme of Government of India, not new, but it is evolving. That certification scheme, as per the Government of India norms, 100% of the balance amount from Government of India is given to them. And that is what the scheme of Government of India is. Additionally, as per this policy, 20% expenses incurred by micro units, 30% by small, and 25% from medium units. Additionally, you can have from Government of Jharkhand. Patent registration, very important. Uh, if you look at the world scenario, our India's target is to go for a more and more patent patent license. So the same is happening in trying to happen in Jharkhand. Financial support of 50% expenditure incurred up to maximum of 25 lakh per patent, 10 lakhs for filing, and up to 25 till acceptance. So look at the support. Even if the moment you file for the patent preparation for that documentation, compliance and everything, 10 lakhs rupees is given to you. So patent registration support is very good. And then electricity support is everywhere, 100% reimbursement of electricity duty up to 5 years. But yes, commencement of commercial production, COCP. Unless and until you produce, you won't get electricity in that way. Now EDA. EDA's scheme is very promisable and effective here. For trade fairs, for foreign exhibitions, you get support from government of India. The same way you get into from government of Jharkhand also. And how it is done? So locally, district industry center is there, pan India it is there, the same nomenclature. You need to get registered with the local, either with the development authority, like we call here in SPIADA or GIADA, Jharkhand District, Jharkhand Industrial Development Authority, Santhal Industrial Development Authority. Regional centers are there. Otherwise, district level, in district industry center, you can get yourself registered. So to avail this particular scheme, what support they give you? 4 lakh rupees for one fair. 75% of the charges. Maximum is 4 lakh rupees. Airfare, they provide 75% economy class, and then maximum 50,000 per 2 person. So what does it shows? It shows that you have support for export purposes, going abroad, going other countries, learning, experiencing from their exhibitions, fairs also. And this is the last very important, 2 crores per year on first come first serve basis. uh, Applications 45 days in advance you need to give, otherwise applications is not getting sanctioned, and it is FCFS basis. Who will come first will get first. Now there is a limited amount is available here. Now for research also, they are giving fund. If you want to do research from market on products or customers, you get reimbursement. Then green productions, 75% standard, less than 3 lakhs. Trademark registration. For small things also, you get support. Patent, you heard. Trademark, you are getting it now. And very new things included here into raising capital. If you want to raise, you must have heard about that. There is a stock exchange. There is an option of SME exchange, where actually you get yourself listed for raising fund to raise fund. And for that, if you have some expenses in doing that, 25% till 10 lakh rupees you can get reimbursed. So to support them to raise funds is in SME exchange, small and medium exchange. Now, effluent treatment plant is very important from pollution point of view. So reimbursement is there. Technology support is very important. It is usually supported and applauded by many industrialists, that less than technology support, small things you can, for small things also you can approach, like ERP solutions, ICT solutions, complete setup you can do, and small incentive you can take from government. Green measures is very less than 4 lakh rupees, 50% investment you can get. So by this, there are key incentives, what I talked about almost in 15, 20, 14, 15 points. These incentives we are getting as per this policy. Now we'll go for how these applications are disposed of. Once it is entered into single window system, how it is disposed of. So as I've been talking about online system, that online platform is called Advantage Jharkhand. And online mechanism is there. You need to apply through online mechanism for disbursal of incentives. Then DI, Department of Industries, will look into the received applications, and will go through the online system workflow system uh, to sanction it and to disburse it. In between, if any clarity is to be taken from the applicant, then they also put into through online system, so that you can check where these lacuna is there, where they are asking for some additional documents or some clarifications. You get email through email, you get SMS also, and you get through online platform also. And in time you can reply, respond. No need to go face to face discussion. These online applications for incentives received under this policy, once it is finalized at the operational level, means all documentations are clear, everything is done, clarification is done, then it is before the directorate, and then it gets approved. Almost, if there is no fiscal limit, I mean budget limit, then all applications gets approved. Now there are some miscellaneous points also here into the policy. In that, we look at these 5 points. Date of commencement of production, very important. You need to have commencement in many cases. I mean, Udyam Aadhaar, once you apply for Udyam Aadhaar, is not sufficient document or a substitute document for COP, the DOP. So you need to have DOP, and maximum months it is given 6 months at lower level, district level, and then 1 year maximum at directorate level. Means beyond 6 months to 1 year, it cannot be granted. So no incentive, no support, nothing. So you need to commence your business, not only buying and establishing your unit. Commencement also very important. And there actually many MSMEs fails. We are not, if we are not planned, and sometime yes, practically support is not coming in time, and we are also not responding in time, then this system breaks, and then commencement is not happening in time, and then penalty and others things may come into, or closure may also come into. Now this operative period of the policy shall remain in force for 5 years. Once it is in any resolution of any issues comes into, it will go to DI, Director of Industries. Local level I talked about, this district MSME center managers in charges resolve the dispute. If at all it is not, then DI will take a call on that. Policy implementation, very clear it is there. Single window system, advantage Jharkhand. And finally, in all aspects, the obviously the power of state government is final. So if we adhere to these policy implementation like single window, advantage Jharkhand, transparent system, then there is no ambiguity and there is no issue into that. This is all what we talked about in last 45 minutes, 1 hour about Jharkhand MSME policy. So little bit, if I go again to recap, then I have just noted down into bold that the purpose of this policy, recent policy, the latest policy is to build a globally competitive, inclusive, and sustainable MSME ecosystem in Jharkhand. Broad, big word is there, but very important word is there. Inclusive, sustainable, competitive, and others. And second, policy always supports to go beyond diversification, beyond traditional things, not into the old conventional products which had been happening in Jharkhand, like mining and minerals. Now, the next point, what we talked about in last few minutes, there are great fiscal incentives, financial incentives is there, and additional incentives for inclusive group. I mean, unprivileged group, women and SC/ST, differently abled. So we need to tap those incentives, and institutional support is available. Like we talked about. Online system is there, it is well robust, so we need to take benefit of that. Target is cluster based. in different, there are different clusters. I will show you in one of the slides in next four, so that we are able to understand better. And from formalization, digitization, skill development as a keyword. Formalization means we call it like you need to create a proper institution, not in informal way of doing business. Normally, if you look at the rural areas, I was talking that they are working into sole proprietorship more, uh, women's more, and are into group, small group, joint group, something group, but trying to formalize so that incentives or supports from the government is given easily, is transferred to MSME very easily. So that way, institutional support I'm talking about, even banking support we are talking about. And yes, regulatory processes are simplified so that the connections of these unprivileged and informal groups and getting them into formal system is not widened, is closed now. So small compliances, not big compliances, government is trying to for MSME, especially micro small. And inclusivity, we talked a lot. And yes, designate to designed to accelerate the business. Uh, so that our local district and regional growth is there always, and then it is beyond the regional growth also in export and to have a pan India presence. What I mean to say, an example: if I'm a trader sitting into Santal Pargana or Hazaribagh with some product and GI tag and good product, I'm able to sell outside world, even in Delhi or somewhere. My buyer is there coming from those areas also. I'm able to sell through other government marketplaces like ONDC, like GEM, which is supported by other institutions, government support system. So we are able to access those marketing support. So that is the main purpose of this policy. Now, let us go for third part of this particular discussion, MSME growth. I have summarized into 5 points how this MSME growth is happening and in Jharkhand, basically. 5 key points. One is strong economic growth trajectory. I shown you in the very beginning CAGR and others. It is in upward direction. Yes, it has to grow. There is no reason to not to grow actually here. We accept that we are not growing at a faster rate due to many reasons, including political and other reasons. But yes, uh, we are crossing always national average many times, and it shows that we have been trying to. I mean, Jharkhand is trying to create a robust ecosystem, robust environment for MSME. We are ambitious. 10 trillion economy. The states aims to become 10 trillion economy. I mean, 10 lakh crore, 10 lakh, not less. But yes, we are trying to target in next 5 years, 6 years down the line. India has become now fourth largest economy of the world. Why not Jharkhand also become one of three best state in India? Because infrastructure support is there, cheap labor, minerals, and everything is there. Government support comes into, people come, everybody pour into the system. Then policy, if it is in place, implemented right way, will grow, will achieve. Now, third point is policy and fiscal support, and that is where this policy comes into picture. So if you what I've shared is okay. If you go through policy one by one, very transparent, and a lot of support, lot of incentives, capital, interest subsidies, and many things are there. And especially like regulatory compliances, streamline those things, not very heavy on regulatory affairs, and cluster based, we have talked, um, mm, uh, and interaction with MSMEs forum directly, so that way. Cluster-based sectorial supports, class diversification, this policy is supporting in Jharkhand. trying to create a food processing sector, food processing industry, rural industry, cartons industry, small industries there. Um, yeah. And the reason why we are talking about cluster is it is scattered at many different places. Why not uh, uh, making it happen at one place so that it becomes stronger and competitive, and reachability, accessibility to the market will be easier. And yes, it does not happen without skill development or upgradation. So money is allotted for that. This 585 crore for this financial year, it is allotted for skill development. There is a dedicated development society, JSDMS, and other schemes also, like Jharkhand 2 rooms I talked about. So, and through academic institutions also, like IIMs and other development institutions, ITs is there. Now look at the areas, industrial areas. What the I could not share the I left with this I mean map of Jharkhand, but yes, I can talk about the industrial areas. What is there in Jharkhand? There are many. Many of them are old, very old, almost 100 years, 80 years back, like Jamshedpur. Who does not know Jamshedpur, known as Steel City of India? Who does not know this Bokaro, powerhouse of steel, the first steel or second steel company made there in from government of India. Dhanbad, coal capital of India. Huge rich coal is there still, where we talked about Indian School of Mines. I mean, world's second largest institution of for coal and petroleum is there. Adityapur, it is actually a development area, I mean, industrial development area, uh, near to connected to this Jamshedpur, where a lot of small scale industries are growing and grown up, especially in automotive components, engineering, fabrication, and IT electronics. And they support bigger industry in those areas. Ranchi, it is evolving for heavy industries, automobile parts, heavy machines, like I talked about HEC, Heavy Engineering Corporation, with the help of Russia, long back, post independence, and then it started. It makes heavy machine for other, sorry, other industry that is there. And nowadays, food processing also growing up in Ranchi. Ramgarh is one of the engineering development industry. Their thermal, iron, steel, that is growing up. Hazaribagh, again, mineral wealth, known for coal, cement. There are small, good cement factories are there. Sindri, who does not know about Sindri? There is a famous institution there, BIT Sindri. Uh, Very old, pre-independence time engineering institution is there, spread into many acres. And historically, it is known for fertilizer production, chemical industries, and thermal powers. Um, Devghar is new, grown-up area, newly developed area where handicrafts, like we have heard about uh, this Tassar silk city, Bhagalpur is near to Devghar. Godda's place is there. Plastic park, textile park, it is growing up. Other than airport and to support them airport, then AIMS we must have heard is already available. Chaibasa is better known as Singhbum area, where minerals and many minerals are actually available. So industrial, small metal industrial hub is already grown up there in Chaibasa. Iron ore, aluminum processing, and for steel production. So these are the few. Some of them are old, some of them are new, growing up into this area. Now these three clusters, major clusters are there in Jharkhand. One is textile cluster in Ranchi. The MSME, which is getting their business here, benefited from capital subsidies and also different training programs due to the proximity of state capital. They trying to create, and they are trying to get support from state in some or other way, like in while creating a job, getting good skilled manpower due to proximity to state capital. And another is, I talked again in Devghar, textile and plastic park and food park, food processing park, food craft institute already new. Already created dairy sector, dairy institutions uh, uh, already there, and a big plastic park is already in development stage. Land is available. Many MSMEs are coming up. Some MSMEs already started their infrastructure preparation. But yes, it is in intermediate stage. So if we talk about food processing, then obviously it will support local agri-based or agro-based industry. There, if I recall, one of the panchayat there, which is huge potential. A vegetable place of Jharkhand. Many type of vegetables they create. So it is sold at the very lower prices. If it is in processing, so they can get more prices, and growth will happen. So food processing is very and then handloom and skill. Silk for silk. Sarai Kela, Kharsawa, and Dumka. Dumka is sub capital of Jharkhand. It is near to the place Godda I talked about. Their handloom and silk support is happening. Tasar silk, if you have heard about, the one of the finest quality silk in India, which is almost 99% of the silk production is export material. And if you go to that area, every house has got their own Tasar production unit, small, handmade Tasar. Very rich area, yeah, in that term. Develop. Now I will go for opportunities. And opportunities for whom? Opportunities for MSME again. How they can, cash in these incentives. And yes, I've added one more slide for opportunities for others, like other professionals who actually support them, like us, like chartered accountants, like other similar type of people who wants to may not be wants to become a MSME but support MSME. So I'll talk about first MSME, what they can do there in Jharkhand. Financial access to financial incentive. Yes, incentives are in place. Interest, capital, subsidy, certification grants, JED, quality control, everything is there. Export development assistance. So obviously they get financial assistance. The first and very important. Now EODB, online advantage Jharkhand through single window system is there. They get a transparent platform. Third is skill development and training. Even if they do not have that much skill to start with that work, once they have given their consent to start that type of work, if this is for micro level, the local district industry center come forward and link with them, uh, then talk to them, get them enrolled, registered into skill development center, train them so that they get help in training and do that business properly at free of cost. So that way we can have development and training, and continual training is there. Yes, cluster based development. So you decide your product, you decide your cluster, link with them, and modernization support is there for small infrastructure like IT, ERP, and other things also, technological upgradation or any green production. If you want to have, you can seek support from government. Institutional support is there. There is a main, there is a department, there is a place, there is a building, there is an office. People are there, offline, online. You be in touch with them, you talk to them, get your work done, online, offline. So that way things are in line. And the last thing, very important, market linkages, backward and forward. Very important. Um, Opportunities are there to become an ancillary industry to support the bigger industry, and also support take support from the locals. I mean, if you want to become a processing industry, you have support from uh, based farmers, agro farmers, and others, so that you seek support from raw material and others, and export the product through government linkage program, government export programs. So that way for MSME is there. And this slide actually is monotonous for professionals like us, chartered accountants and others. I've just specifically designed for these small things, a standard format, what we do and what we can do. But yes, these services we do and we can do again here in Jharkhand also. Advisory and compliance, very important in especially in this EODB compliance, registration, medium and others, GST, whatever. Now the financial management training, yes, these MSME are may not be much aware of managing their finance accounts, so we can help them. Certification for audit and audit services. These are the core things what a chartered accountant does. Project financing fundraising, very important, because if you look at the micro level and small level industry, they are not much aware and they're not exposed into. If somebody here as a participant is into professionals like a chartered accountant or similar type of nature of job, they can get into this particular role in especially in Jharkhand. There are a lot of opportunities up there. Yes, modernized expenses nowadays. If you talk about professionals also, not concentrating only on accounts and finance. Yes, modernization of your process, modernization of your system infrastructure uh, helps an MSME grow. So why not, as a professional, we help them. And market research and export assistance. Yes, though there are platforms, there is a platform available from government, but linking with them, how to interact, how to get things done in easy manner, what as a catalyst or as a advisor or as a consultant or as a professional we can do. This is what in summary for a chartered accountant. Then the last few 2 3 slides I have with a, it's like a summary, it's like a mm, um, you know snapshot, or what I call it, how I'm connecting with the future. Future, this policy, this infrastructure, whatever we talked till now, um, what I'm taking away if I'm going away from this place, from this particular discussion and others. So this particular fifth part of my presentation is that I have written here food for thought for head of governments and CEO of MSMEs. Yes, true. Unless and until head of governments, I mean government officials who actually design this policy and think that this policy is good, suitable for MSMEs to adopt and grow, but same time, this CEO, I mean, owner or CEO, I call it CEO, everybody is CEO of their own institution, of MSME also need to think of how these incentives they can get benefited of. And in case they are not up to the getting, not able to get benefit, what are things, they want to change? Because now this is this platform government has created where you can give advice, feedback, interact, small feedback, so that government also know that my industry, my potential entrepreneurs, potential MSMEs are up to. I call it from protection to promotion. Earlier, you used to have industrial policies which actually was trying to protect local people in some way, labor reform some way, or local supplier, industries some way, landowner some way. So the protection word is always happening, but now not. It is for promotion. Everything is for promotion. I want, see, exploitation of land is not happening in Jharkhand. It is not helping Jharkhand people, local people. I have met many people who are having almost 25-acre land, but hand to mouth, because that land is not giving any return out to that. He's surviving on every day's work. So why not come with not protection of that land? Why not come with that with some policy, and MSME should understand exploiting in a positive manner with that land and create an industry. create a job like many big companies have been doing. So why not MSME also? Now, what we can do here? So we need not to go this text to text, but in broad in bold letter what I have pointed out again, the same repetition you will feel it. Yes, that is the gut. That is the main part of this particular slide. That everything is there, same thing there. This fiscal and incentive. You need to have this type of incentives, tax related benefits that create advantage for specific industries or companies, and policies regulating FDI, such as ownership threshold and sector restrictions. So this particular word incentive, fiscal incentive, is in place by the government. Why not take advantage by the MSMEs, CEOs, MSMEs? We need to think of, and then if anything's lacking, give feedback. Some changes would be there. You will have ultimate beneficiary. The financial incentives, subsidies, interest subsidies, capital subsidies, grants, loans. Bankers are ready to give loan, grant loan. Other are other financial instruments available. SME stock exchange I talked about. There are there are different circuit market activities, so that your cost comes down. Why not take advantage of that? So head of MSMEs also need to think, rethink, and government is also need to support them with the policy is in place, and then correct implementation, final implementation should be in place. Now the third, very important, market promotion. It is not happening actually fully. uh, Sometime partly you can say from government side also, and partly from our side, because many times we are not able to maybe produce a quality product, and the product what we need to have in export or some other places. So demand is there, demand is there. Why not cumulative, government is in action to support, to create a demand, or to let MSMEs know where the product can go, and then uh, creating a favorable market conditions also. Uh, like Jane portal is there, government is procuring from the direct party at the lower cost, from smallest to smallest supplier. So that type of platform, ONDC is there. So why not use those platforms? Still, it is not in much percentage if you talk. And so helps create more favorable market conditions. Direct procurement is very important for target industries or companies. So up to some extent, it is happening in Jharkhand. I'll share you an example. Like in district level, if you see the procurement process, majority of procurement is happening through MSME only. There they create a tender document, RFP or TOI. I mean EOI, that we will prefer MSME rate also if it is at the higher side up to some extent as per the GFR rule. We will buy, and many places they are trying to support very micro level institutions, like at rural level we call it FPO, producing companies, small companies, or small enterprises, which is partnership based, sole proprietorship based. So they prefer. So if we as an MSME come into uh, participate into that, certainly we get advantage of that. So that way actually we need to think of. So I would sum up with a few questions. So my our participants should go up with this. I'll just read for you. While industrial policy initiatives can create opportunities for businesses, CEOs of MSME need to understand the scope and applicability of various programs. The questions normally we hear. Four questions I've just listed out. The first is which industry, which technologies, geographies receive government incentives today? in common sentence, which business I should start, which location I should go for, so that I get advantage of incentives. That is very important to know. Second, are these incentives sizable enough to influence the competitive balance within our industry? Am I compatible with this by receiving these incentives? Still, I am competitive or compatible with my peers. That is very important, because otherwise we won't be able to survive. Third, how can we build a resilient business case for a new capital investment around an incentive if we receive a if the relevant program may be subject to change? If there is a chance of program needs revamping the program, change modification the program, then how can we survive? How can we do this investments with the new capital? There is a risk. And how might the incentives landscape change the coming months and years? I mean, many times we call how much incentives you want, for how many years, for how many months, or for how, what are the how many reasons? I mean, you want to get incentivized for long? How long? Because unless and until you go into market, you won't survive. I'll just share one example, then close. One of few of my clients are women-based enterprises. They once I was interacting with district people, and one of the district officers, senior officials, said that, look at this cafe, sir. That was a big cafe. I mean, almost 70 to 80 people working there, and all are women. So this cafe, I mean, not only small cafe, I mean, food and everything is there. So this cafe is run by women. We have given them land and infrastructure, run by them, profiting by them. And sir, uh, my district clients go there, staff goes there and buy the product. I asked two questions to first discourage and then encourage. One, how much percentage of the total customers you contribute? Sir, almost 80%. I said, then tell me one thing. Are they into the competitive world? You compelling or whatever, creating an environment, your staff is going buying them, and one day this decision changes, then where is the market? They have to be in competition world. They have to go outside your preview. I mean, this is okay, you are helping them, but till what time? This incentive you are providing them, till what time? Unless and until their product is getting sold outside your incentive area, they are not competitive. They may be closed any moment. Then they also thought of this. Yes, sir, that is very important. So why not branding them outside your premises, district premises? So that way, I will leave these questions with the participants. And almost 1 hour 40 minutes is gone. So thank you very much. I'm closing this. Any questions? And over to Himanshu ji. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for this session. We have few questions. So let's start with the question.
Yes,
So
sir.
first question is there any capital subsidy for setting up new MSMEs in Jharkhand?
Yes.
Okay.
I talked about capital subsidy and interest subsidy, both are there. Like if you want to set up a micro unit under one of the scheme I'm just talking about, where a micro unit may get up to 25 lakh rupees as a capital investment into your business. And if you 10% you are contributing, then rest 90% is on incentive only. Only thing is ki the part what you should commence your business. You should commence your business, and then 1 or 2 cycle they would visit. They would see you are performing or not. You are utilizing this money or not. So that
So that seems a great subsidy from the government. There is a follow-on question, it's a related question. So let us complete that. So, are there any provisions for land allotment at subsidized rate to MSMEs in
Yes, very
Jharkhand?
good question. Very good question. See, there are different industrial development authorities areas where land is getting procured from the party, from the normal customer, and then given to us, given to MSME. There are places where we have made clusters, like food processing cluster. If you want to start a food processing unit, you apply for that particular area, you get subsidy. Subsidy means a standard rate is there, discount is available, you may buy, you may be allotted with that. But for service sector especially, many places, uh, most of the places, uh, there is no discount, there is no subsidy available. But even one or two places like Spiada authority is there, Devgar area, where 50% subsidy is there for tertiary sector even. Food processing is there always. But even for tertiary support system, training center, if you want to open something, 50% subsidy of the original cost in land procurement I'm talking about. It is there.
So, sir, is there any document or somewhere we can refer this area-wise
Yes,
subsidy?
yes. If you go to Advantage Jharkhand website, na, there is a option called Land Bank. If you
Okay.
go to that land bank, click on that, there is a different name of the authority comes into. Click on that, and if any policy are live there, it is okay. Click on that, or you go to archive. If you go to archive, you will find this policy document or this particular allotment document of last many years and for different development area like Aditipur I called, Dhanbad I called, Ranchi, Ispiada, Giada, you will find. And then there you will see, let's say for normal reason, 100 rupees is cost, you are getting at 50 rupees today. Sometime it is limited to particular time that may be there. I mean, if they have published today, so they are talking that in next 6 months this is valid. If you are buying it next 6 months, 3 months, then you can get it at 50%. Or again, depends on the new publish. But almost everywhere you get subsidy.
Nice. So insightful, sir. So next question is like does the policy offer any subsidy for technology upgradation?
I talked about 3 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees for ERP solutions. Like if you want to revamp your entire IT system, you get 3 lakh rupees in total. It is available.
And can you give some brief about what are the criteria for availing these interest subsidies under the policy?
I will show you one thing. If my slide is working, it will come here. You're talking about interest subsidy, na?
Yes.
Look at this slide. 5% per annum for 5 years. Right? Micro, it is up to 25 lakhs. Small up to 1 crore. And medium up to 2 crore. Means this 2 crore, they can get up to in 5 years, spread of 5 years. So it's a
So,
huge amount.
so there's no additional criteria, only you have to qualify.
Yes, true.
Okay.
Let's say 100 crore loan you have taken. 5% means 5 crore rupees per month. But here the cap is 2 crore in 5 years. Means 40 lakh rupees per year.
That's great. So there is one more thing. How will digital platforms like GEM or Udyam be accessible for rural or tech poor MSMEs?
Last sentence, please repeat. After GEM?
GEM and tech for to rural. Sorry, I will rephrase it. It's like the MSMEs in rural areas or who are not technologically advanced MSMEs. How are they going to be get benefited for these things?
See, I'm talking about GEM now. GEM platform is internet based. Anywhere you can operate this, right? First thing, if we do not know about GEM, the best way is to go to the district MSME center. DMC's manager is there. They help us in understanding GEM and also in getting creation of registration. I mean user ID and password. And then what happens in GEM? Every district in once in few months they organize training also, physical training in operating GEM platform. And online, if you go to GEM, then lot of documents are there for training. It is there that if you want to become a buyer, how you want to register, you can register. If you want to register your product, how you can upload the product. So self learning module is there in PDF form and also in YouTube form, video form, right? And district MSME center also helps in understanding those things. So that way. But yes, it is true that if you want to explore GEM type of platform, you need to be into the computer and internet field. I mean, well convergent.
So the next question is like, is there this policy facilitating the access to domestic and international markets for MSMEs?
Yes, backward forward linkage is there available. There
So,
are
any policies for MSMEs to access the international markets?
there are three ways. One is domestic. I'm talking about one sentence. Domestic, you can participate into one district, one product, district level e-market platform is there online. You can get your product listed. And internationally, you can actually what is live today. You can participate into trade fair. uh, Financial support is getting being provided to participate into exhibitions outside, the first way. And second, yes, catalog and supports are there, but not directly connecting with the export
Mm-hmm.
importers. That may not be
Right.
available today. Yes.
Any specific benefits for setting up MSPs in backward or tribal areas?
Setting up for backward, please repeat again.
Backward and tribal regions of Jharkhand?
Any specific, please repeat the complete question.
One second. So, sir, are there any specific benefits offered to MSMEs to set up their establishment in backward or tribal areas?
Yes, that I talked about inclusivity. If you are, there are two things here. If you are an MSME trying to create industry into these areas, you get support. But problem is you cannot have land there.
Okay.
So issue is first that if there is a development authority's land available, certainly you go through the single window system, you get land, you get all benefit. Second part of this question may be, which I'm adding it, that if you yourself is a, if entrepreneur himself is a tribal or from weaker section, then they can do their business in their own areas, having their own land,
Right.
no limitation, and
Uh,
they get all benefits, including they get a special benefit for inclusive people, extra additional benefit. Yes.
there was question on this topic also. So, are there any special benefits for woman-owned MSMEs and SC, ST, or other minor
Yes,
entrepreneurs?
yes. That comes into here. Mm, that comes into inclusivity. Uh, I'm just trying to give me a sec. The second last point, since inclusivity is the key focus area in policy. So what happens in every type of support, there is a standard support for MSME. But once you are local, tribal, PVTCs, or women, or SC/ST, or something differently abled people, you get extra benefits of what? Like, let's say, National SC/ST Commission's program is there. It is to be implemented in that area. One industry is getting opened by one SC/ST people. So both benefit you can get.
Okay.
In loan waiver scheme, if you have taken loan, SC/ST loan scheme is different. So you get benefit from bank. Right? So that way you get.
Yes.
Any
So to
other
avail
question?
this benefit, is there any platform specified? You talked about AT&C platform. So is that the platform where you can avail all the benefits under MSME scheme, or is there something else?
Now, what happens now? Once you apply into Advantage Jharkhand, they ask for your background. The moment you put there as a SC/ST or woman, all these schemes are accordingly, you can get benefit. So there is no need to approach some other places. Only thing is, if you want to avail some other benefits out of this policy, let's take an example. uh, I'm an SC/ST. I've applied in online Advantage Jharkhand. All things, whatever from Advantage Jharkhand, I'm into that. Now I'm taking loan. I've applied for a loan through District Industry Center for 1 crore in a bank, a state bank. Now my application will go to state bank as a SC/ST applicant. So the benefit what SC/ST applicant is getting into state bank will be given to me. Simple.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm approaching to National Commission, some local state commission for some an extra benefit, then automatically SC/ST, my application is inbuilt into that manner actually. I'm talking about a different benefits from different departments. For SME department, from government, pure government department, you get standard form. The moment you put into I'm a woman or I'm a differently able, I'll put an example. If you want to start a small unit in rural areas, I'm a man, I have set up industry, a small, I will get 25 lakh rupees, let's say, without collateral, without any interest, done. Now, if a woman wants to start in rural, automatically 35 lakh rupees is given.
Okay.
I'm talking about maximum limit. If you want to avail lesser, you can avail lesser, but your limit automatically goes to 35. So that way, system helps.
Sir, any interest subvention scheme is included in this policy?
Interest subvention is not there, but yes, uh, it is being given. One is in CGT MSME is there, not interest subvention exactly. Look at this. Credit guarantee scheme is there, right? Interest subvention, what do we mean? We mean that I'm paying lesser interest to the bank. Now, to compensate that difference into standard rate and my rate, government is supporting that. Clear? So that benefit is available here in Jharkhand for women especially. If woman is coming in a group, starting a business, they are availing loan for 7%. I'm just giving you a right example. 7%. Bank is charging only 7% to this woman, right? And government is giving 4.5% to bank.
Okay.
But I need to be, there are conditions. I need to be a non-defaulter.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a defaulter for 7%, bank will not get any interest subvention that way. And this is for the group. Now, if you look at the individual woman, then bank get 2%. Bank
Okay.
is charging me 9%, let's say 10%.
Mm-hmm.
I am paying 10%. Government pays 2%. So that way, overall bank is getting 12%. So that way, subvention is running for inclusive group, not for everybody.
So we'll take the last question. It's whether government provides any export incentives or any assistance in trade fairs and participations.
Yes, yes, yes. It is very well available. I was showing it. I will show again. That's a very good support. 3 lakh rupees, I believe, or 75% they are giving support. Maybe somewhere for the export related things, if you want to participate in trade fairs, it is there, na? Scheme. Foreign exhibitions, trade fairs in EDA. It is there, na?
Yes.
Financial assistance, 75% of stall charges paid up to maximum of 4 lakhs for one fair. Airfare, 75% of your total amount fare, economy, and 50,000 rupees per two person per unit per annum. That way you get. But the condition is cap is if you are getting the same for the same program for the same fare from other governments, I mean central government, you won't get it. For the same reason, you won't get two benefits.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. I think that's it for the question section. We can conclude now. Just so on the behalf of Committee of MSME and Startups ICI, I extend our heartfelt appreciation to Mr. Rajendra Jha for his insightful and enlightening session. My thanks again to our chairman, vice chairman, and fellow committee members for their constant encouragement and vision. Finally, a warm thank you to all of the participants for your presence and engagement today. Your involvement ensures the success of such initiatives and strengthens our collective effort in fostering MSME growth. So, wanted to thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jai Hind.
I am also thankful to ICI, and this is wonderful series. I must appreciate and also appreciate about participants. When participants ask questions, we get privileged and thankful to overall coordination and be part of this program. So thank you very much. Do it well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for a wonderful session.